Look at somebody next to you and tell them, this is my moment, because I didn't come to whisper today. I came to wake something up inside of you. For too long, you've been explaining your delay, defending your fear, and justifying why you're still standing at the edge of what God already called you to walk into. You've been saying, one day, when I'm ready, when they approve, when the conditions are right. But hear me clearly, the conditions will never be perfect for a person who doesn't believe in themselves. You don't lack talent. You don't lack anointing. You don't lack potential. What you've been lacking is permission from yourself. Some of you are waiting on applause before you move, waiting on validation before you obey, waiting on confidence before you act. But confidence doesn't come before the step. It comes because of the step. Today, we are canceling excuses. Today, we are silencing doubt. Today, we are breaking agreement with fear, because the same God who put the dream in you already knew the weight of the assignment, and he still chose you. So if heaven believes in you, why are you still questioning yourself? This is not a motivational talk. This is a spiritual eviction notice to every excuse that's been living rent-free in your mind. The title of this message is, No More Excuses, Believe in Yourself. By the time I'm done, you won't just feel inspired. You'll feel responsible for your destiny. Let me tell you something. The moment you start giving excuses, you are speaking the language of fear. Fear doesn't knock politely at your door and say, may I come in? No, it sneaks in disguised as logic, disguised as reasoning, disguised as wisdom. And the thing about fear is that it's clever. It will sound perfectly reasonable to you. It will convince you that your dreams are too big, your timing is too early, or your resources are too small. It will whisper, maybe tomorrow, maybe when conditions are right. And before you know it, a year has passed, 2 years have passed, and your calling is still sitting on the shelf collecting dust. Excuses are not neutral. They are the tool fear uses to keep you immobilized. And here's the truth, excuses will feel safe, but safety is not the same as purpose. Your purpose will never meet you in your comfort zone. Your destiny will never knock on the door of your hesitation. Every time you make an excuse, you are negotiating with your own life and telling it, I'll take less than what I was created for. Look around you. Some of the greatest breakthroughs in history happened when people refused to listen to the excuses that fear presented. Moses could have said, I'm not eloquent. I can't speak. David could have said, he's a giant. I'm just a shepherd boy. Joseph could have said, I'm just a slave. How can God use me? But they did not let excuses become their authority. They recognized that excuses are temporary voices, but purpose is eternal. Excuses make sense in the moment, but they do not make sense in the long run. They will cost you your moment if you allow them to speak louder than the call on your life. And here's what most people don't understand. Excuses are never harmless. Every excuse you give is a brick in the wall separating you from your destiny. Every reason you offer is a chain keeping you bound to mediocrity. Fear does not want you to fail. It wants you to stay in a state of permanent delay, and it uses your own mind as its playground. So when the next excuse comes knocking, recognize it for what it really is. Don't be fooled by its polite disguise. Stand up and say, no, you will not rent space in my mind anymore. I will not negotiate my destiny with fear. I will not allow reasoning to replace obedience. Excuses are the language of fear, yes, but courage speaks louder. Faith refuses to negotiate. Action will always silence hesitation. You were created for more than explanations. You were created for results. And the moment you stop making excuses, you stop giving fear a voice. And that is when your life begins to move in the direction it was always meant to go. Some of you have been stuck in a cycle, waiting for signs from heaven, waiting for confirmations, waiting for the universe to give you a glowing green light before you move. You keep asking, God, show me a sign. And while you're waiting, the instructions are right in front of you. The opportunity is right in front of you. The direction is right in front of you. But you are so busy seeking a confirmation that you fail to act on what has already been revealed. Let me be clear, faith without action is just wishful thinking. God will not hand you a map and then refuse to let you take the first step. He gives instructions, He gives guidance, He shows you what to do. And yet some of you keep saying, I'll wait for a sign. I'll wait until it's perfect. I'll wait until everyone agrees. And while you wait, life is passing you by. Doors are closing, seasons are changing, and opportunities that were designed for your breakthrough are going to somebody else because you refused to move when you were told to. Listen carefully, a sign is not the same as obedience. You can spend your whole life asking for a sign and miss the miracles that obedience would have brought. God does not need to give you a flashy vision to know if you will follow Him. He needs to know if your heart is willing to move. He wants to see if your hands will work when your feet are ready. Instructions are the blueprint of your destiny, and a blueprint without action will never become a building. You can't keep asking for reassurance when you already have a path laid out. You can't keep asking for clarity when clarity has already been placed before you. Every instruction ignored is an opportunity wasted, and every delay caused by seeking more signs is a compromise of your calling. Some of you are afraid of the unknown. You want guarantees. You want to see every step before you take the first one. But that is not how faith works. Faith is a risk. Faith is a step into the unseen. Faith is saying, I don't have all the answers, but I trust the one who does. Abraham didn't wait for a sign that said, you will father a nation. He followed the instruction to go. Moses didn't wait for a guarantee of victory. He obeyed God's command to confront Pharaoh. And the moment you start obeying instructions without overanalyzing, without over-asking, you will notice doors opening that no sign could have prepared you for. So stop waiting. Stop asking for signs. Stop postponing your obedience. What you need is not more confirmation, but more courage. You cannot ask for signs while ignoring instructions, because God doesn't reward hesitation. He rewards action. He rewards action. He doesn't bless the doubter. He empowers the obedient. Your breakthrough is not in the signs you seek. It is in the step you take. The question is, will you move when the instruction is clear, or will you let your fear continue to write the story of your life for you? Let me tell you something. The reason most people never reach their full potential is because they are waiting to feel confident instead of deciding to believe in themselves. They are waiting for courage to arrive on its own, for motivation to knock at the door, for the perfect moment to reveal itself. But hear me now, self-belief is not something you stumble upon. It is not a gift you are given at birth. It is not a reflection of how talented you are, how popular you are, or how much people approve of you. Self-belief is a choice. It is a conscious, deliberate decision to stand up in your own life and say, I am capable, I am worthy, I can do what I was created to do. You see, most people think that confidence is an emotion, but emotions are fleeting. Decisions are powerful. A decision to believe in yourself is what separates the dreamers from the doers, the observers from the leaders, the spectators from the victors. Some of you are underestimating your power because you are waiting for your personality to match your potential. You are saying, I'm not bold enough. I'm not outspoken enough. I don't have the right charisma. I don't have the right look. But let me remind you, every leader you admire had moments of doubt. Every champion you respect had times when they questioned themselves. The difference is they made a decision to believe anyway. Abraham did not have the personality of a warrior, yet he believed in the promise. David did not have the stature of a king, yet he believed in the call. Joseph did not have the freedom to change his circumstances, yet he believed in his purpose. Self-belief is not a feeling. It is an act of faith in your own life. It is choosing to see what God sees when everyone else sees limitation. The truth is, belief in yourself is a muscle. And like any muscle, it grows through exercise. It grows when you step into the discomfort, when you do what seems impossible, when you stand in your purpose. Even when fear and doubts scream at you to retreat, you will never feel fully ready. You will never feel fully equipped. But a decision to believe in yourself allows you to start anyway, to keep moving anyway, to keep growing anyway. Self-belief is not a certificate from someone else. It is a declaration from you. It is telling your life, I refuse to let my doubts write my story. I refuse to wait for permission. I refuse to let circumstances dictate my destiny. So today, I am asking you to make a decision. Stop waiting to feel like you are enough. Stop waiting for external validation. Stop letting your insecurities dictate your pace. Stand up in your own life and say, I choose to believe in myself. I choose to trust my gifts. I choose to obey the call on my life. The moment you make that choice, fear loses its power, doubt loses its grip, and the world has no choice but to take notice. Self-belief is not a personality trait. It is a declaration, and the decision to believe will determine how high you will soar, how far you will go, and how boldly you will live the life you were created to live. Some of you are waiting for confidence to appear before you take the step you've been called to take. You are thinking, I will move when I feel ready, when I feel brave, when I feel capable. But let me tell you something, confidence doesn't come before the step. Confidence comes because of the step. Faith grows when you act. Courage is forged in the furnace of obedience. Obedience is what transforms dreams into reality, visions into victories, and promises into fulfillment. God does not wait for you to feel ready. He waits for you to be willing. He waits for your heart to say, I will do what you have told me to do, even if I don't feel ready, even if fear is screaming, even if the conditions are imperfect. The moment you step into obedience, confidence will catch up. The moment you act in faith, courage will follow. The problem with most people is that they are trapped in preparation, trapped in doubt, trapped in fear, disguised as carefulness. They study the path, they weigh the options, they wait for perfection, and meanwhile, life passes them by. But God's instruction is clear. Do what I tell you to do, and I will equip you along the way. The disciples didn't wait until they felt confident before stepping into the boat with Jesus in the storm. They obeyed, and their faith grew with every wave. Peter didn't walk on water because he was confident. He walked on water because he obeyed the command. And it was in the act of obedience that confidence was built. Obedience produces results that feelings alone can never generate. Waiting for confidence is a trap. Acting in obedience is freedom. Many of you are underestimating the power of obedience. You are thinking, I need to feel certain. I need to feel bold. I need to feel ready. But let me remind you, obedience never asks for permission from your feelings. Obedience does not negotiate with fear. Obedience says, I will move where I am told to move, even if my hands are shaking and my knees are weak. Obedience is not dependent on your confidence. It is dependent on your commitment. It is the bridge between where you are and where God has called you to be. And the truth is, every breakthrough, every miracle, every victory begins on that bridge. So today, I am challenging you to stop waiting for confidence to show up. Stop waiting for the perfect conditions. Stop waiting for fear to leave. Step out in obedience and let God handle the rest. Confidence is not a prerequisite. It is a reward for action. Courage does not precede obedience. It follows it. Your calling is not waiting for your emotions to catch up. It is waiting for your feet to move, for your hands to work, and for your heart to obey. If you will obey, if you will step, if you will act, confidence will find you. The miracle will meet you. The doors will open. The chains will fall. You don't need more confidence. You need more obedience. And obedience is the key that will unlock everything that fear has tried to steal from you. Some of you are living as if your past has the final say over your life. You are looking at old mistakes, old failures, old rejections, and old disappointments and thinking, this is who I am. This is all I can be. This is the limit of my destiny. But let me tell you something, the past may explain you, but it does not have the authority to define you. The past is a teacher, not a tyrant. It is a lesson, not a sentence. It can inform you, it can guide you, it can even humble you, but it does not get to control your future. God did not write your history to trap you in regret. He wrote your history to prepare you for the miracle that is coming. Every setback, every heartbreak, every closed door was a step toward your elevation. Every trial, every tear, Every disappointment was building character, faith, and resilience. Your past is a part of your story, but it is not the author. You are the author. And today you have the power to write the next chapter. Too many people are living in shame, chained to memories that have no power unless you allow them to. They carry guilt like it is a crown, and they let fear whisper, "You are not worthy. You are not capable. You will never rise." But hear me clearly, God's mercy outruns your failures. His grace is bigger than your shame. The same hand that allowed you to fall is the hand that will lift you higher than you have ever been. Your past does not have veto power over the promises God has placed in your life. You may have been overlooked yesterday, but that does not mean you are destined to be overlooked forever. You may have been rejected, abandoned, or betrayed, but those experiences are not a permanent sentence. They are a springboard. Some of you are letting history dictate your destiny when history was meant to be a stepping stone. Joseph was sold into slavery. He was betrayed by his brothers. He was forgotten in prison. Yet he did not allow his past to define his future. He understood that the hardships he endured were shaping him for the position he would ultimately occupy. David was overlooked by his family. He was underestimated by society. He faced giants that everyone said would defeat him, but he refused to let the past decide who he could become. And that is exactly what I am telling you today. Refuse to let yesterday define tomorrow. Refuse to let failure write your biography. Refuse to allow pain to dictate your potential. So stand up, lift your head, and declare, "My past explains me, but it will not define me. I will not allow yesterday's mistakes to steal today's victories. I will not allow history to limit my destiny. I am stepping into the fullness of what God created me to be." Your past is powerful only if you let it be, but your faith, your obedience, and your belief in yourself are far more powerful. This is the moment to break free from old narratives, to stop apologizing for what has already happened, and to start walking boldly into the story that has already been written for your greatness. Your past may explain you, but it will not define you. And from this day forward, you will define your future. Let me tell you something. The moment you decide to believe in yourself, the world around you will have no choice but to change. The moment you stop asking for permission, stop waiting for validation, stop looking for approval, and finally stand in the fullness of who you are, everything in your environment has to respond. Doors will open that were locked. Opportunities will appear that were invisible, and people who doubted you will suddenly begin to see what God already knew. When you believe in yourself, you are no longer negotiating with fear. You are negotiating with destiny. The moment you declare, "I am capable, I am enough, I will move forward no matter what," the universe begins to rearrange itself to meet your faith. Your environment does not dictate your power. Your belief does. Most people allow their surroundings to control them. They say, "I can't succeed because of my job, my family, my finances, my lack of support." They look at obstacles and assume the world has the final word. But listen to me, nothing in your environment has authority over you unless you give it permission. The same streets that seem too small to hold your dream can suddenly become the runway for your breakthrough. The same people who doubted you can become witnesses to your rise. The moment you step into self-belief, everything that was designed to intimidate you begins to shrink, and the mountains you feared are revealed to be stepping stones. Your belief is the force that moves walls, changes circumstances, and transforms challenges into opportunities. You see, believing in yourself is not arrogance, it is alignment. It is aligning your heart with God's vision for your life. It is saying, "I will trust the calling over the criticism. I will trust the promise over the problems. I will trust what God has placed in me more than what the world is trying to tell me." When you hold that kind of belief, you will notice a shift. The negative voices start to fade. The naysayers begin to fall silent. The resistance that once felt so heavy starts to give way because your environment cannot withstand the power of a person who knows their worth and is unwilling to settle for less. Some of you have been waiting for external circumstances to change before you act, but let me tell you something. The environment always follows the person who refuses to be defeated. Joseph didn't wait for the favor of Pharaoh's palace. He believed in his God-given purpose, and soon the palace adjusted to him. Esther didn't wait for permission from the king. She believed in her calling, and the kingdom adjusted to her. And just like them, your moment will come the instant you decide to fully believe in yourself. So today, make that declaration. Stand tall, speak life over your own ability. Refuse to let fear, doubt, or limitation control your destiny. The moment you believe in yourself, your environment has no choice but to adjust. The world bends to the person who refuses to bend to it. Step into that belief and watch how quickly everything around you begins to move in your favor. Your faith is stronger than circumstance. Your confidence, when rooted in purpose, becomes unstoppable. This is your moment. Claim it, believe it, and watch the world respond. Now listen to me. I want you to hear every word like your life depends on it, because it does. No more excuses, no more waiting, no more negotiating with fear. You have stood in the shadows long enough. You have questioned your worth long enough. You have allowed doubt to rewrite your story long enough. But tonight, right now, in this very moment, I am declaring to you, your season has arrived. You were not created to settle. You were not designed to shrink. You are not called to watch your destiny from the sidelines while others live out the dreams God placed in your heart. The only thing standing between you and the life you were born to live is the decision to believe in yourself. And once you make that decision, the world has no choice but to step aside. The doors will open and your purpose will no longer be postponed. So I'm telling you, lift your head, take that first step and stop talking yourself out of your own greatness. Obey when you feel afraid. Move when you feel unready, and speak life over your own destiny. The power is in you. The moment is now, and the life you've been dreaming about is waiting on the other side of your courage. Believe, move, conquer, and watch the miracle unfold.